The story of America in the 20th century can be told through its cars, machines that didn't just move people, but shaped dreams, culture, and identity. From the humble Ford Model T that gave families their first taste of freedom, to the Cadillac 16 that turned luxury into a symbol of success, each car reflected what the American dream meant at that moment in history. The chrome brilliance of the Chevrolet Bel Air mirrored post-war optimism, while the Ford Thunderbird proved style and individuality were just as powerful as speed. Then came the Corvette and Mustang, unleashing passion and performance that inspired generations. Yet the dream wasn't only about horsepower. The Volkswagen Beetle showed joy could be found in simplicity, while the Jeep CJ invited Americans to chase adventure far beyond city streets. And as the century drew to a close, the Lincoln Town Car stood tall as the quiet mark of having arrived. These 10 cars didn't just define an era of driving, they defined the American dream itself. In 1908, a simple black car rolled out of Detroit that would forever change the meaning of freedom. The Ford Model T wasn't just a machine, it was a ticket to possibility. Before it, cars were toys for the wealthy. But Henry Ford's vision was different. He built a car for everyday Americans. With the assembly line, production became faster and cheaper, dropping the price so low that factory workers could actually afford the product they were making. Suddenly, families could travel beyond their small towns, chase opportunities, and live with a new sense of independence. The Model T wasn't glamorous, but it symbolized progress, equality, and the idea that the American dream could be driven on 4 wheels. It didn't just move people, it moved a nation into the future. By the 1930s, the American dream wasn't just about owning a car, it was about owning the best. And nothing screamed success louder than the Cadillac 516. Launched in 1930, it was a rolling statement of wealth, power, and elegance. With 16 cylinders under the hood, it delivered smooth performance that felt almost effortless, while its long, graceful bodywork turned heads everywhere it went. In an era when the Great Depression left many struggling, the V16 became a symbol of those who had made it, the businessmen, celebrities, and high society elites. More than transportation, it was theater on wheels, proof that America could build cars as grand as any European luxury brand. The Cadillac 516 showed the world that the American dream wasn't just about survival, it was about thriving in unmatched style. The 1950s were a golden era in America. New homes in the suburbs, highways stretching across the nation, and a spirit of optimism after World War II. And nothing captured that feeling better than the Chevrolet Bel Air. With its bold chrome accents, sweeping tail fins, and two-tone paint jobs, the Bel Air wasn't just a car, it was a fashion statement on wheels. Families piled in for road trips, teenagers cruised to diners, and owning one meant you were part of the new American middle class. Affordable, yet stylish, it reflected the prosperity of the era and the confidence of a country on the rise. For many, the Bel Air was more than a car. It was proof that the American dream was alive, gleaming under the neon lights of the 1950s. In 1955, Ford introduced a car that blended elegance with excitement, the Thunderbird. Unlike the raw muscle of sports cars, the Thunderbird was about personal luxury. It wasn't built to dominate racetracks, it was built to turn heads on Main Street. With sleek lines, chrome detailing, and just enough power under the hood, it became a symbol of individuality and sophistication. Celebrities drove it, young professionals dreamed of it, and it offered a new kind of freedom, not just to go places, but to be noticed while getting there. The Thunderbird redefined success, showing that the American dream wasn't only about practicality or family life. It could also be about style, confidence, and living with flair. In 1953, a new kind of dream rolled onto the scene, the Chevrolet Corvette. At a time when European sports cars dominated speed and style, the Corvette gave America its own homegrown rival. Sleek, low-slung, and futuristic, it wasn't just about getting from point A to B. It was about passion and performance. With each generation, the Corvette proved that Americans could build a car that delivered excitement on the open road and pride in the driveway. It became a symbol of ambition, power, and freedom, appealing to everyone from young thrill seekers to seasoned collectors. More than just a sports car, the Corvette embodied the spirit of chasing bigger dreams, proving that the American dream could be fast, loud, and undeniably bold. By the 1960s, America was changing fast. Amid muscle cars and chrome giants, the Volkswagen Beetle found its place by being completely different. Small, simple, and quirky, it didn't shout power or luxury. Instead, it offered honesty and reliability. For young Americans, especially those in the counterculture movement, the Beetle became more than a car. It was affordable, easy to fix, and carried a charm that stood against consumer excess. Hippies painted them in bright colors. Students packed them with friends, and suddenly, the people's car from Germany became an American icon of individuality. The Beetle proved that the American dream wasn't one size fits all. Sometimes it meant freedom and simplicity, and joy in the little things. In 1964, Ford unveiled a car that would ignite a movement, the Mustang. Affordable, stylish, and endlessly customizable, it was designed for young Americans chasing independence and excitement. Suddenly, driving wasn't just practical, it was personal. With its long hood, short rear, and aggressive stance, the Mustang looked fast even when parked. It sparked the pony car craze, inspiring rivals and filling highways with the roar of youth. For many, owning a Mustang meant freedom, the freedom to choose your path, to stand out, and to live boldly. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement of identity, perfectly aligned with a generation redefining the American dream. By the late 1960s, the American dream roared louder than ever, and nothing embodied it like the muscle car. Leading the charge was the Dodge Charger, big, bold, and brimming with horsepower. With its wide stance, sleek fastback roofline, and thunderous V8 engines, the Charger wasn't just transportation, it was raw attitude on wheels. Street racers, weekend cruisers, and Hollywood films turned it into a legend, symbolizing dominance and thrill. The Charger and its muscle car rivals fed a national hunger for power, speed, and rebellion. For a generation that craved excitement, these cars weren't about necessity, they were about living life in the fast lane, proving that the American dream could burn rubber at every stoplight. Born from the battlefields of World War II, the Jeep CJ carried its rugged spirit into civilian life, eventually evolving into the Wrangler. Unlike sleek muscle cars or polished luxury sedans, the Jeep was about grit, freedom, and adventure. Its boxy shape, removable doors, and go-anywhere attitude made it the ultimate symbol of the outdoors. From mountain trails to beach runs, it offered Americans a chance to escape the ordinary and embrace exploration. The Jeep wasn't just a vehicle, it was a lifestyle. One that said the American dream wasn't confined to suburbs or highways. It could also be about open skies, muddy roads, and the thrill of discovering what lies beyond the horizon. As the 20th century closed, the American dream found itself wrapped in leather seats and smooth rides. The Lincoln Town Car became the symbol of having made it. Long, elegant, and unmistakably commanding, it was the choice of executives, politicians, and anyone who valued comfort over speed. With its spacious interior, quiet drive, and air of authority, it represented stability and success. Limousines built from town cars carried celebrities to red carpets and business leaders to boardrooms, reinforcing its image as the car of power. For many, the town car marked the American dream's final form, not about flash or rebellion, but about security, influence, and the quiet satisfaction of arriving in style.